One of the most common issues I see when traveling the off-road globe is improper shock setup or severely overdue service and replacement of key suspension components. The shocks on your ATV or side-by-side do a lot of work, take a lot of abuse, and are generally the last thing to get a little love. And while you might just ride it like you stole it and be happy to do so, you're probably missing out on a much better ride with very minimal work. On your typical steel body, non-rebuildable, snail cam adjustable preload shock, you have very little adjustment, but you do have just enough to make a difference. Don't just crank them to the top or likewise to the bottom. Adjust your suspension so you have a little sag, meaning that after you've adjusted your shocks and gone for a quick test ride, you can lift the vehicle up a few inches from static ride height and watch it fall back down. This sag, or ride-in, means you're allowing the wheels to drop out and into holes, not increasing the spring tension or preload to a place that will result in a rough ride. With that said, if you're running your spring preload at full stiff and you're still experiencing a lot of sag or a springing effect when you go over bumps out on the trail, it's probably time to rebuild or replace your shocks. If you have a stock steel body shock like these from a base 800 Polaris RZR, they are not rebuildable, so toss them out and get yourself something that can be rebuilt in the future. These shocks from Fox are very basic but all aluminum, rebuildable, and feature threaded spring preload adjustment, allowing you a much broader range of adjustment and fine tuning. You can rebuild these shocks whenever you notice the performance lacking, and will only cost you a few $100s to have all 4 done. Money well spent. If you need extra ground clearance to run mud or climb rocks, then go ahead and crank up your preload. But when you're done having your fun, make sure you reset your shocks to a reasonable setting so that you're getting the maximum performance that your ATV and side-by-side was designed to give you. It's easy to change the settings on your suspension and adjust the characteristics of your vehicle. Make sure you play with your suspension settings, match adjustments so you always evenly adjust the front and rear shocks at the same time, and test your vehicle after every change to make sure you feel the difference. In a small amount of time, you can gain a huge amount of insight into what small suspension adjustments can do to fine-tune your ride to your riding style, and make the next trip out on the trail that much more enjoyable.
If you enjoyed this video, post a comment and let us know what you think. Then, click this link to subscribe and that link for more great videos from DirtTrax TV.